I always love to hear stories of when Tyler cries.
Yeah, a lot of them anymore are just like dad moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fist bump that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome to the only podcast on the internet where we openly admit that we cry. And
Often,
yeah.
All of us.
Way more often
pretty sure
than we
Luke
expect.
had mentioned crying in a review this week, and
Yeah,
that we'll probably get to.
did.
So.
I think so. So, tonight we'll be talking about Rebel Moon Part 2.
And crying.
And crying, as well as some other things
There
we
was
did.
no crying during Rebel Moon.
Well, no.
No, definitely.
Just need to clear that up.
Maybe crying that you had to watch it.
No, there was no crying ever. It was only anger.
Just fuming rage. I love it.
More like a steaming frustration, like a kettle of tea that was just left on the.
Oh, and just
stove.
is wailing the whole time. So it's like listening to nails on a chalkboard is what you're telling me. Watching that movie is the equivalent of listening.
It's pretty close.
Woof.
Closer than I'd care to admit. That's for sure.
Oh boy, man, that is unfortunate.
But we'll get more into that.
Pre-review.
Yeah. We'll get more into Rebel Moon Part 2 here in a minute. Luke, we got some new trailers that came out this week.
Oh my gosh, we did. I gotta bring this closer. Sorry, I'm very tired. Okay.
Yeah, Luke and I both traveled to sports games.
Yeah, these
and
hooligans
both got home kind of late last
were
night.
out like
Sports.
Yay sports all weekend. So
Different sports.
Different sports, yeah.
Different sports.
different sports for different forks.
It'd be crazy if
Both
they played
teams
each
do
other.
have orange in their colors, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
You showed me the jersey of the Orioles jersey Bryn was wearing. My jersey that I have is orange.
Dude, your
too,
jersey's
so-
dope.
Yeah, dude.
I love it.
It's awesome. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Birthday gift. Shout out. We'll talk. Well, I'll talk.
Yeah,
about
we'll
that
talk
at
about
the-
that later.
yeah, for sure.
But no trailers. I'll just start with the big one. That came out today. It's Deadpool and Wolverine got an official trailer.
It did.
Yeah.
Our first real look at Hugh Jackman in the yellow suit.
Yep. Looks good.
Yeah.
He looks good in it. I
Does
should clarify. He looks good in
He
it.
does look good in it. Yeah.
And it is nice to have him back too. Like I'll never turn away Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
As a Wolverine.
So.
Yeah, I think he'll help this movie quite a bit.
I
think you're right.
Yeah.
very curious to what the vibe of this movie is going to be.
Multiverse. There's your vibe. That's
Yeah.
all they do anymore.
Know what is crazy to me? If this wasn't in the MCU, I'd be so much more excited for it. Like
In a
just
weird...
the fact that it's in the MCU is almost like okay, like I'll go see it. Like it'll probably be fun.
I think the problem is we know what it's going to be because it's in the MCU. If it weren't, I think there'd be a little bit more of like maybe some more intrigue into what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, like, as soon as I saw Ant-Man's head as a base, I was like, oh yeah, forgot this is that. And Doctor Strange like rings, and I was like, oh yeah, we're doing the thing where there's 50 billion cameos in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's what to me is the most upsetting. Like I knew that's what it was going to be. Like
Sure.
they were pretty open about that. I don't know. I wish there was more to it than that. It feels like every Marvel movie lately is just, all right, how many cameos can we get in this thing? And that's kind of disappointing. That being said, I'm still excited to see it. I do like the Deadpool movies. I think they have their moments of pretty good humor at times.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Hugh Jackman will be a great ad. I think him and Reynolds will be a good play by
I think
play
they've
with each
got
other.
good chemistry.
Yeah.
I wonder how different it feels from Josh Brolin. Because that one surprised
but,
me, but
yeah.
I loved that chemistry,
Like that
and
dynamic,
That
yeah.
dynamic. So my fear would be that it feels too similar, too samey. And on one hand, on the other hand, my kind of the opposite end of that would be they don't want to be that, so they lean into the meta-ness of it all, which we know Deadpool already does.
Yeah.
But like really lean hard into it, and all it is jokes about
Feige and
Yeah.
MCU and Yeah, I think I don't
Okay.
know. I mean, we know where this lands, right? Like, okay, how do we get Deadpool into the MCU? We do a multiverse thing where he hops around and then ends up in the MCU,
Yeah.
right? Like, we know where this movie goes. We've seen this movie before, right? Like, this isn't anything new from Marvel,
Yeah.
except for that it's rated R.
Yeah. No, I think it's a okay trailer.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I've seen lots of people dissecting it, looking for all of the cameos and Easter eggs, and
I just
calling
saw
out
the
that
one
stuff.
thing that I sent you guys on Threads because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
The Rob Liefeld's feet thing.
Yeah.
That is pretty funny that they're making fun of him. Because you know he's going to talk about it on social media because that's what he does.
Yeah.
So,
He talks.
he talks a lot.
I think I have him muted.
I would not blame you.
For a while, he was one of the only things that would pop. Like, I don't follow him. He would just pop up in my, like, For You page. It's just like, I cannot stand seeing this guy's tweets anymore.
We'll have to show you some of his work.
Yeah, you will.
It's pretty funny.
Because I did not understand that reference. Luke,
He has some-
you've been pretty quiet over there. What are your thoughts on this trailer?
It looks fine.
Yeah.
It looks okay. Like, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think that's a great phrase. It'll be fun.
Will it be good?
Good.
I'm more worried about, like, I know I'm not the biggest Ryan Reynolds fan. I am worried about Sean Levy directing because he's hit or miss to me.
You expressed that like the minute he was attached to. Like you were very much like, oh, he's directing it.
Yeah.
But, like, it'll be fun. I imagine I will have fun watching it, and then I'll pull a Logan and be like, oh, that was very good.
I think it'll probably be on par with the other Deadpool movies. I mean, I think wherever you may land on those. Specifically, I'll say Deadpool 2. Because the first one, I think it was like the first time we really got to do what they did, and
Yeah.
it was really good.
Deadpool 1 is like almost closer to being an indie movie than it is being a blockbuster.
Right. And so, like, that one, I
And
love.
I think that's why it's so good.
Yeah, like, but Deadpool 2, I think the barometer will be, how did you feel about
Probably.
Deadpool 2? Because
Yeah.
this is probably going to be that. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of quality. Which I like Deadpool 2. So I think I'll enjoy this.
Was Dopinder in the trailer?
No, probably not.
Is
was
he in the
not.
movie?
No, I don't.
He is in the movie.
Okay. As long as Dopinder's back.
Yeah, he is definitely
He's
gonna be in the
confirmed.
movie. Yeah, I believe
Sweet.
so.
Okay, good.
So
Dude is hilarious.
he is super
Yeah, he's
fun.
listed on IMDb. He's
Good.
in the credits, so I think
You didn't have to look very long, so he must be near
No,
the
he's
top.
Oh my
top.
gosh,
Yeah.
is he actually like? Is his variant an actual MCU hero in this?
Honestly, you know what I hope it is? His taxi is what travels them through the multiverses.
That would be a lot of fun.
That would be my preference. Like every time they need to jump to a new one, they just jump in his taxi. He's like, "All right, Earth this," and then they just
Outfit
go.
his taxi with just a multiverse engine.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I'd be on
Yes,
board.
please. Same. Very much.
So I'll give it a between thumbs up and sideways thumb somewhere in there. I don't know.
I'll give it sideways.
I'll give it sideways as well.
Next trailer. Something I'm actually very surprisingly very excited for. Trap.
Yeah.
In the Shamhammer's new movie.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's back with
If you-
another movie.
If you haven't heard about this, and I'm sure most people have, but it's a concert, except it's a trap for a serial killer who is Josh
Hartnett.
Hartnett.
Yeah.
Um,
Or is it?
Who is your main character?
Right.
Which is super neat.
it's a great idea. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really curious if there is going to be a twist. Shamhammer hasn't been as twisty as late.
Of late, yeah. No, it's true.
True.
And if there isn't one, great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it
It'll
might
just
make
be-
this better.
It'll
Yeah.
just be a cool story. But if there is a twist, I'm really curious what it could be. Because I've heard like some interesting out there theories. I'm
Theories.
like, okay, I think I would actually like if that. Like I saw one. It's like his daughter is actually a vampire, so he just kidnaps people and locks them in the basement for her to like feed.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, that'd
That's
be
like turning.
So like the daughter's in on it too.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
yeah.
And let's see, Shamhammer did Glass and
Split.
Split was good.
Mm-hmm.
Knock at the Cabin. He did something else though, didn't
What
he?
was the other one that was in
He did
People on the Beach.
Old.
Old?
Didn't see that one.
But
I
what was
thought
the third? What was the third in the Glass and Split?
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Well, I was thinking more recently.
Oh, sure.
In his more resurgence era.
He did the Servant TV show over at Apple.
Yeah, which I've heard really
Good
things about.
I think it's on its third and final season.
Third or fourth, yeah.
Third or
Something
fourth.
like that.
I think it's nearing. They're wrapping that up though. I think.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, between this and
Shamhammer's back, baby.
His
Daughter's
got one.
The Watchers?
The Watchers.
Which also had a new trailer. Yep, good transition.
Wow, we did it. Segued.
I think this also looks really fun.
Yeah, this is. I think
Like-
we were at the movies, and I kind of mentioned this. Feels like a kind of sequel. I know it's not, but it feels like a sequel to The Village.
How do you know it's not?
That's true.
Like I watch it. And I gotta be honest. I haven't even seen The Village. I don't think it's worth watching if I know the twist personally.
Yeah.
I get that vibe though too.
Yeah. Like it
That's
really
like-
has that feel.
Like I was like, what if the villagers like are getting back at the current day people or something?
I just really appreciate, and
Like, it's this
obviously,
weird connected. Yeah.
horror does this better than probably than any other genre, right? But like these self-contained films, I will grant that we don't actually know how big it could be big, but this feels like here's this scenario. Aliens, probably. There's a thing.
There's something. Yeah.
We trap people in here, and we're gonna make this kind of a suspense thriller, and it all just kind of takes place in this one little area.
Yeah.
And it's not like we have to have this like, oh, we're going all up and down the East Coast.
Yeah, their ability to use only a few locations is
Yeah.
always so impressive. It's very minimalistic.
Like with Trap in the concert, right? Like the 90% of that movie, I bet, takes place inside that stadium.
Yeah.
And I did want to bring up Trap again, just real quick. Dana is not into Shamhammer.
Mhm.
She's not into horror. She's not into his kind of pocket of filmmaking, like, at all.
Yeah.
And she actually sent me this trailer and was like, "This looks awesome." And I was like, "Oh boy."
I mean, it doesn't look scary.
It doesn't look scary at all.
It doesn't look like scary or gory
No.
horror.
Yeah.
So
But I was just shocked that it was even on her radar.
I think that's one of the reasons I'm super interested
It's
in it.
kinda different, yeah.
And I'm gonna go back to Watchers. Same with the Watchers.
Yeah.
It's just this mystery, like
It's just a
in
weird
dark
situation.
forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's super cool. And yeah, I'm curious about who the Watchers are.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an old folks home or something.
Yeah.
It's just a situation with a film built around it.
Yeah.
It's basically all they are. And I think that's it. Yeah. It makes them simple.
Plus, yeah, uniquity, is that a word? Is always good.
Uniqueness.
Yeah, sure.
Originality.
It's like, oh, here we go, another slasher movie. Great, don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, another exorcism movie. Here we go. Do not care.
Right. Give us something that, and so many
That
of
feels fresh.
so many of
yeah.
those fresh things end up
falling into those other things.
Well, but they'll fall into. I'm thinking of the one that it was an alien movie, but it went straight to Netflix or straight to Hulu this last year. I thought it was okay.
Oh.
I cannot remember.
I'm already here. I'm the only one here.
Something
I'm
here
in a room.
No.
It's the one with the house and the.
Mhm.
I never saw it, but I know what you're talking about.
But though they don't always. Not and again, like not that they have to have big enough budgets that they. But so many of them are small enough in scope that I think
No one will save you.
no one will save you. Yeah.
I was not close at all.
No, you weren't. I thought you were closer. My
I
bad.
think I was thinking if I saw the TV Glow, which isn't out yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, but I just appreciate when these kind of films come out in theaters and don't just get dumped on a streaming service.
Pumped for it, man.
Same.
Imagine being alive when that unique idea was like Predator.
Right.
It's like we're these military guys. We're super buff and sweaty in the forest. And we're being killed one by one by this thing. It's like, was it revealed in the trailer that it was an alien?
Oh man, I hope not. That'd be so wild. Like such a huge
Like
trip.
you imagine, he takes off the helmet. It's like everybody else would have been, you ugly mother. Like as well as be like, oh my goodness. Or like even,
To be fair, 1980s trailers did pretty much ruin every movie. They did not keep anything back.
absolutely they did,
Man.
and they're still doing it to this day.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like
I feel like there was a time when it was like
There's a sweet spot.
there's a sweet spot, because then it became too like pull the wool over your eyes type of like I'm thinking of like Rogue One, where it's like or even some of the Marvel films where
We're just gonna fake.
we're just going to fake things so you don't know what's actually happening. It's just a vibe check.
Yeah.
Not an actual here's what's happening in the movie, because these are literally just made for the trailer, these shots.
Yeah.
And now I feel like we've kind of reverted back to we're going to just show you everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Godzilla X Kong did a good job of not showing us everything.
Which is mind blowing that of all movies,
that was the one that did it. Wow.
Next trailer I have is Transformers 1. This is the animated Transformers movie.
I'm here.
We're all over the map on this one. I don't know look, I have not watched Transformer animated shows or movies, so I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. I think I gave it for those of you who are listening, I gave it an upside down thumb, downwards thumb.
I gave it a thumbs up.
I was sideways.
I think the premise is cool and probably something you would do in an animated, not a live action. Like, I don't think this gets made as a live action movie.
No. Absolutely not.
But I didn't, hot take, I didn't think the animation looked that good. I didn't think it was bad per se, but it didn't feel like it hit what I was expecting, and maybe I just don't know what to expect with Transformers stuff. Maybe it's on par with other Transformers things.
Well, it's very clean CG animation. Like, the actual animation, I think, looks good, but it's probably the faces and stuff.
The faces are weird.
It's the animated face made CG. Because back in the day, they didn't put all the gears and parts on their face. They just had a face that would...
It was just like a gray space.
Yeah.
Because, they hadn't the time nor the technology yet to kind of do all that.
Sure.
The animated shows on Netflix do that.
Okay.
So I'm just used to it.
Sure.
It's pretty off-putting at first, I think.
Can I get used to it?
I think you'll get used to it.
It's an acquired taste.
You should watch the animated shows on Netflix. They're fun.
They're like recent ones that they've done.
Yeah, they're fun. I think they're good.
Okay.
They're pretty short too, if I'm not mistaken.
They're all like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was sideways thumb because I'm not bothered by animation. I like the story. I think the voice acting is garbage.
So that's the only thing I don't like about it.
I think it's garbage.
I don't prefer the voice actors, but I like everything else about the trailer, so I thumbs up.
I know it's a kids movie, but like the humor was just like the way they're talking.
Just felt childish.
They sound like Zoomers. Just like, okay. But then again, it's probably who it's for. So
good. Yeah.
I don't know how much of a complaint I should.
The target. Who is the
weigh
target?
on that.
Yeah, market.
But
I'll be the excited one.
I probably won't watch it until you guys tell me it's amazing, and I have to watch it, and then I'll watch it.
It's
I don't know if it
Transformers,
will
so
be-
I will be watching it.
I don't know if I'll say like I don't know if it's gonna be one of those. It's like you have to see.
No,
it,
but like if
if
you
it's
guys
good,
come back and are like you give it like glowing reviews, I'll probably check it out. If you come back and you're like, yeah, this is like it's a Transformers
so no
storyline.
matter, like if it's just absolute garbage, we should just give really bad letterboxes, but then just praise it here. So Brett's like, oh,
I will see your letterbox.
No,
review.
we'll hide them until after the episode.
I
love this plan.
Just to like trick you into going to see it.
I get an hour into this movie. I'm like, well, how is this redemptive?
He texts us. He's like, bro, this movie sucks. It's like, yeah, dude, you didn't see our letterbox reviews? They went live like an hour ago.
Just put your letterbox review. Just say liked.
Yeah, no stars, no nothing, just liked.
But yeah, it was a disappointing trailer, I think. Hire voice actors again, please.
Yeah,
and,
they're just
like, and you can even hire like your normal actors. Just make sure they know how to voice act. And by voice act, I mean not just getting rid of an Australian accent. It's not the same thing. The last trailer I have is, I don't know if either of you saw it. There's a Sweet Tooth trailer.
I did not see this.
For the third and final season of the Netflix show. I'm very excited. That show is amazing. It's really dark, but it also makes you feel really good. I'm very, very excited to watch that.
Isn't RDJ like an EP on that or something?
Yeah, him and his wife.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Both produce it, yeah.
That's super cool. Sweet. Yeah, I didn't see that one.
I didn't see it either.
Thumbs up. Great show.
Cool. I'll thumbs up it because Luke thumbs up.
Yeah. Let's go.
Well, sweet.
Oh.
All right.
Here we go, baby. Here we go, baby.
I'm so excited for this.
Let's hop on into our review of
Rebel Moon Pooh.
Part 2, The Scargiver.
She's giving people scars because they didn't die for some reason. Not a spoiler.
Yeah, revealed in trailers, I guess.
Not a spoiler.
Yeah, definitely not a spoiler. I don't know.
Here, I know we did our little pre-review.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Yeah. You have a letterbox?
I do have a letterbox, but I also just, I put my letterbox on Instagram usually.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just give you the really short version.
Okay.
It's garbage. It's garbage. And, I wrote down no pros or cons for this because I just didn't really care to think about it. All I have written down is more of the first movie.
Yeah. I came into this hoping that there would be some redemptive element, right? Like something that's okay. The first part feels like too little butter spread over too much bread, but that means we get like a jam-packed part 2 full of something that ties it all together.
I just thought of a great metaphor.
Oh yes, go please.
So here in the Midwest region, Midwest Southern, there was an eclipse last week.
Yeah.
Part 1 is like listening to people talk about the eclipse. You just talk about it, and it's like that. But let's imagine you didn't get to see it.
Yeah, sure.
I saw the eclipse. It was really cool. I saw the moon partially or fully block the sun. It's like, great. I heard you talk about it, but it would have been nice to see it, right? Part 2 is getting to experience the eclipse, but it's cloudy outside.
That's a great metaphor, actually.
You go outside, and it's already dark, and then it gets a little darker. And you're looking at clouds.
I think my ultimate frustration with... Boy, it's hard to not talk about these as part 1 and part 2, because they're so clearly one movie. But they're so clearly part 1 of, like, a trilogy.
Oh, my gosh.
And much like part 1, A Child of Fire. Part 2, it's just doing more setup.
But it's 4 hours of setup for
This
a movie
entire
that
thing
hasn't
is-
been greenlit, we should add.
Just 4 hours of setup is all this is. There's zero tension. People die. They come back.
Person die.
Person dies. They come back.
Spoilers.
Oh, well, I'm talking
Should
in...
we just... Listen, this movie's so garbage, I think we shouldn't even try and avoid spoilers. If you
Okay.
want to say it, just say it. If you are trying to avoid spoilers for this for some reason,
Just
go away.
you can skip.
That sounded mean.
Just skip it.
Yeah,
Skip
just
this,
skip this.
this portion. We'll do a spoiler review here.
You
I don't care.
okay? I just
We
had
know
to make
Tyler
sure.
I'm
doesn't
reading
care.
reviews. I guess people died. Or
Person died.
One character died.
Okay.
Some farmers died.
Here's my favorite review so far. Superb sequel, great action, love the characters. So sad Gunner is gone, but can't wait for the sequels.
You remember
Literally,
who Gunner is?
No, I don't remember who that is.
It's the main boy,
He's the boyfriend.
the boyfriend,
The one who is he the one who saves her in
the
the
one
bar?
from Hill House.
Okay. Oh yeah, his name is Gunner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Two reviews down. Absolute disgrace of a movie. No story. 80% slow mo.
Here, how about I'll read my letterbox that I put. Another hollow nothing film. Terrible visuals. Boring action. Lazy writing and acting. And don't get me started on Ed Screen's haircut. Junkie XL remixes his Fury Road soundtrack for the 15th time.
This movie is all about farming and slow mos. Absolutely wasted my time.
There's
Quote: grain
so
is our
much
best
farming.
weapon in defense. Then we go through a 40-minute slog of harvesting and processing grain, and then never hear about it again. Didn't he know Farmville was released in 2009? If we wanted that, we'd play it. Woof.
Dude, there is a very large section of the movie that is farming.
It's kind of cool, except for the fact that, because look, I come from a family of farmers.
Same.
Definitely in
Well,
my
heritage.
family tradition, right? So I can appreciate like someone that takes time to properly and actually accurately show how like you sickle wheat and how you bundle it up, but we also have hover carts and technology.
They should have just asked the
And I
robot
don't
to
feel
do
like, was it addressed? Like, are the villagers anti harvest? Like, I don't technology. No,
You're right. They never ever talk about that.
It's just we haven't developed an easier, more efficient way of harvesting.
They hit a hammer on a bell for an alarm.
That's true. Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. It's just this weird juxtaposition that I feel like was, hey, wouldn't it be cool to visually see it being done in like an old school fashion? I don't disagree. It's kind of cool, but it doesn't make any sense for the world of the movie. You know?
I just
Yeah.
like reading the reviews. People are funny.
Look, there's a reason why we didn't see any moisture farming in Star Wars. It's because it's not relevant. It's not actually relevant to the plot.
What even is moisture farming? They've never answered that.
You don't need to though, right? Like
You just got those things
this
spinning
is
out
this
there.
is
and it's
this
okay.
is grain.
Good
We
enough.
understand that the
There's not even a different like name for it. It's just like wheat.
it's just wheat. It's just wheat. They didn't visually spice it up at all. It's just wheat. I don't know. Oh, this is I feel like this is a weird tangent to get off on, and
It's you know what? It's just it goes off into many things of in areas where you could be super creative. There's none.
right.
That seems pretty on brand for the director of this one.
Well, he doesn't have something to adapt, so he doesn't have anything to visually base it off of.
Real question, not trying to make a joke.
Yeah.
We've talked about it in the past. Is this one filled with like sexual assault undertones and stuff again? Does he kind of move on from that in this?
I don't
It
think
seems like he
it's-
always has to put it in
I
his
don't think
movies.
it's as prevalent in this one.
Well, at least there's
But
that.
again,
No.
I think this originally, as a part 1, part 2,
That's true.
it's just all addressed at the beginning
That's true.
of this, in part 1. That said, there was, I don't know, at the end when she's fighting Noble, and
Again?
just like again.
Is that the
'cause
bad guy?
He's back.
That's Ed Screen.
Yeah, his name's Noble.
Just call him Ed Screen, please.
Ed Screen, and he's
I only know Gunner and Cora. Those are the only names I know.
so
Is
Cora.
Cora?
It's the big
it
fight
Blade?
in the ship as it's crashing, right?
Yes.
And it just there were some like I don't know how it was shot and the manner in which he was like
I complained about this in the trailer. About how it's so terribly choreographed. We have a dude with a sword walking backwards, people with guns running forwards. She has a sword, or does she have a gun? I can't remember.
She has a gun in the trailer.
But they're just running at her with guns while she also has a gun. And it's what are we doing here? This seems like 101.
None of the fight scenes, even in the village where you have an opportunity to do something creative with traps, all it is fighting in a field, kicking down a door, running in and shooting around in a room. Like there's nothing creative there.
Yeah.
And there's opportunity for it. You have an interesting juxtaposition with like you have an army and then you have villagers, and those villagers have some pew guns, but they also have axes and melee weapons, and you could do something, but they don't. I feel like the one time they do something, it's with sword lady. I can't remember her name. Nemesis.
Pilgrim hat.
Nemesis lady.
She fought the spider
with the dual swords. Yes.
Yeah. She instantly died.
She gets one fight and then she dies.
She instantly died. It was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen.
Insta death.
Yeah.
Like,
does she come back?
No, she's dead. She dies in a child's arms.
Oh.
She has to have a little blonde boy come save her. She fights 4 dudes.
Remember how like legendary she was?
Yeah. She just gets beat by.
Even like
we need the top swordsman in the land.
Even in her backstory, she's like, "Might come from a people that have a very violent nature, and we always fought. Then we started more peaceful stuff, and then my village was destroyed, and now I'm back to fighting."
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
And it's just like, and then like 5 minutes later, somebody kicks open the door. She gets her arm chopped off. She wins, technically, but she dies.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was the only person that they hired that actually dies. Gunner was the other death because he's the romance.
Yeah.
So we have to have that cliche.
Okay, it can't exist without those.
And you have not seen Seven Samurai, right?
I've not.
And Magnificent Seven?
I have seen that.
The new one?
The newer one.
The newer one? Like, in every version, half of the team dies.
Yeah.
And then this one won.
Yeah, you get
If you want to be graceful to who the team actually is, too.
You get about halfway through the third act of this, and you're like, they're just setting this up for a part 3, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
And like it's really just
That's
that's
the only reason you don't kill off your characters is because you have to have them come back for more.
Like a character will be in the worst situation and they're fighting through it, and then Robot shows up and he's pretty much Superman. He destroys a tank with his bare hands.
Yep.
Or maybe a rocket launcher, I don't remember, but it's
most interesting character in this film.
Deus Ex Machina everywhere.
He's just there to be the Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it happens again at the end with the Resistance.
Yep.
Everybody shows up. And
we had our little Rise of Skywalker moment.
Yeah.
All of the ships actually came to fight. Look, you're probably, anyone who's listening to this is probably like, Brett has no pros, these are all cons.
Yep.
I think it's probably accurate, but I think the biggest con for me has to do with the writing of this and the dialogue specifically. No one is given any, like, the acting's not great, but they're also not given anything good
to act against.
Yeah. And so just none of their lines feel natural. Everything I have a script that I've written that is kind of full of like little cliche things, and so like I can understand like you want every piece of dialogue to feel like it's monumental or memorable, and so like everything has to kind of have that like punch. But man, it just does not feel natural at all, and I don't care about any of the characters, so I don't care that they're dying or not dying, and it's just a big bummer at the end of the day.
It's so boring. It's just so boring, which I feel like should never be the words coming out of my mouth with a sci-fi action epic. And
Yeah.
it's just, you're watching, you're just like, oh my gosh. Because I think one of the things that makes it boring is just how it looks.
Yeah.
And I need to clarify this from the jump, because I've seen this on Twitter and it's driving me crazy. When I say the visuals are bad, I'm not talking about the CGI.
Yeah.
CGI and visuals are different things. The visuals in this movie are terrible. It's out of focus, which he's done in his last 3 movies now.
He does
And it's
that very shallow
Depth of
focus.
field,
Yeah.
It's so stupid, and I hate it. That might be a personal problem for me. I don't know. But then also, every single action set piece, you're just staring at smoke.
So those
can't
those
see
flashbacks
anything.
in part 1?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what the third act is. Maybe the second half of this movie is. It's just smoke.
It's just gray and smoky.
It's more brown.
Oh, okay.
It's more brown at least. But yeah, it's just smoky action, slow-mo, people jump. Like, people aren't doing anything interesting when it's slow-mo. It's just slow-mo to be slow-mo.
That's so
They're like banging the wheat, jumping,
I don't know.
ringing the bell.
I'm in no
It's-
rush to watch this movie.
No. I'm in a no rush to watch the director's cut when it comes out.
I will
Don't
not
care
watch
about it.
The best scene in the entire thing, though, and by best I mean the worst, and I think everybody just kind of, I won't say everybody because I know there are people that like this movie
Yeah.
for some reason. I think there's a collective groan for most people when a certain scene is reached, and it's all of our squad around a table,
Oh.
and Jimon Honsu is like, here's my backstory, and gives a little D&D background.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the next person, they're like, what's your backstory? And they give their tragic background. Like, what's your backstory? They all give their D&D intros.
And they legit say backstory?
I think they do.
Oh, no.
Not every time. They switch it up. Can't reuse words in your sentences too often. Where are you from? What happened to you? Why do you fight the Empire? Also, they all hate the Empire, which is it's more Star Wars, but like, I don't know, it would have been cool to have one person it's like, I'm here to get paid.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
if I survive, I'm going to make tons of money.
Is Ray
Yeah.
Fisher in this one?
No,
No,
he,
he
he
did-
died.
that's
He
right,
died.
He jumped at a plane
A ship, yeah.
with his...
I don't
Did he have
really remember the
Did he
verb.
have an axe, or is his name just...
Blood Axe?
I think
is
it was just his name was
yeah.
Blood Axe, yeah.
No, he jumped at him with his name.
Good for him.
But yeah, they
He had
all
a-
give
he had
their...
a spear.
I think he had a giant gun.
Is it javelin?
He did have a giant gun.
But yeah, I call it the D&D backstory scene, and they're all very clearly first-time D&D players because they're all super serious and they all have to avenge their families instead of, looking for the perfect mixtape. And it's somewhere in this village.
Yeah.
I just need to find it. Ooh, new character backstory.
There you
coming
go.
in.
A bard.
I'm trying to figure out the perfect Spotify playlist for...
We could do like a present day setting.
Yeah, but no, just like whatever D&D's version is. It's like, I'm trying to discover the perfect adventuring playlist for fellow adventurers.
The adventuring set list
That's right.
for the bard to play, yeah. Or you could do like that story, but you're from the future and you're stuck in like medieval times.
Ooh, another thing I loved about this movie.
But
So
by love you mean didn't love.
yes.
Okay.
Good
Line.
clarification.
So remember in the first movie, at the very beginning, when they're like, "Oh my goodness, we need to get out of here and go to another planet and get all these people," and they're like, "But how do we do that?" And they're like, "We're gonna go to the spaceport because we need a ship." In this one, they just go to Cora's ship and fly it. She had a ship, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm surprised it worked." It's like, I usually try and
first.
my car first before I rent one.
Oh.
I'm like actually convinced. Like I'm convinced Snyder doesn't actually remember what he makes or writes, and he just does stuff.
Unfortunately for me, this movie kind of convinced me that unless Snyder is adapting something, I don't think he can do something good. Because all the things I've seen of his that are original, I think are terrible.
What has he done that's original? He's done this. Original.
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead.
Sucker Punch. Literally
I thought Sucker Punch was an adaptation.
No.
It's not?
I don't think so.
I have to look it up. I thought it was.
Literally 4 of the worst movies I've ever seen. But hey, he wants to remake Sucker Punch.
He wants to finish it, he said. He wants to finish the director's cut, I thought.
Nobody in their right mind.
No, this was Snyder's first film based on original concept.
Sucker Punch was?
Yep.
Nice. Well, that makes perfect sense then.
But hey, when he's adapting something, it's usually
I think there's, man. You also remember who was on his team, who was on the producing
he's had
team.
Gunn, he's had Goyer, he's had Nolan.
He's had 2 Nolans, right? Like he's had Christopher and Jonathan.
I think Nolan wrote on Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like.
What's the one thing everybody hates about that movie? Is the one thing Nolan told him not to do. It's so funny. Just break his neck. Personally, I hate the tornado scene. I don't care about the neck breaking. God, that tornado scene pisses me off.
So, I don't know. I don't care to talk anymore about Real Moon Part 2. Luke, is there anything else you want to hit before we move on?
See if I can think of any more of my favorite parts.
But there's just no part of this that I think back and I'm like, well, that was at least a cool idea.
I liked the fallen spider tanks.
Just ripped right out of Destiny.
Yeah.
Apparently he ripped a lot of Warhammer stuff off too.
That doesn't surprise me.
Oh, my last point is just that I don't think he's seen Seven Samurai. I don't think he's even seen it. I think he heard about it.
Didn't understand the... Well, and I...
Like, if he was like, oh, I actually haven't seen it, if, like, that came out, it'd be like, this makes total sense.
I can... At the same time, I could see and respect someone who saw Seven Samurai and said, I want to do it differently. Like, I'm using this as a base and I want to do it differently. It was a bad execution if that was the case. I just don't think there's anything compelling about any of these characters to make me care if they survive or not, or heck, even what happens to the village. I mean, the
Princess is still alive.
The premise is so simple as to innocent people, these innocent, farming people are good, big government is bad. It's a premise that we've seen 1,000 times. Make it more interesting.
I think that leans to what Baroque's saying. I just want one sci-fi epic where the Empire is the good guy.
Yeah.
Expanse, where nobody's really a good guy. I think too
my Star Wars pitch.
Oh, I think something
Remember
interesting
that?
too that just
been
like
a hot minute since we talked about it.
Is kind of just makes it difficult from the start. It's like adapting Seven Samurai, if that's what you're trying to do, but also trying to make a Star Wars movie.
Mm.
the Star Wars ishness
Yeah.
of it makes it too big.
Yeah.
Like, we're having an entire tyrannical government be bad guys, whereas in Seven Samurai and Magnificent Seven, it's bandits.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
They're just kind of
in Star Wars
mean.
Your main
These are just jerks.
your main group isn't, it's not the moisture farmers that the Empire is going after, right? It's the rebels, the people who are attacking them. That makes sense. It just the scale of the conflict feels really weird when it's like, we have a whole battalion and we can destroy you from space.
You mean
and we
Snyder
really
and
want your
scale?
brain.
You mean Snyder and having trouble with scale? No way.
Yeah. So,
Should have just made. Well, okay, so the movie ends, and Jumon Honsu is like, "Remember that princess you killed, Korra? She's not actually dead." So,
but we don't know where
mentioned
she
at the
is.
beginning,
Who plays the princess?
a random girl.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, I wasted 4 hours of my life to watch something that is not going to be made.
Yeah.
And
well, he's not going to finish anything. We know this.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, at a certain point, like, he's abandoned Army of the Dead. He's going to abandon this. It's just, at a certain point, who's going to stop giving him stuff?
Was that in one of my predictions this year?
You said Netflix wasn't going to continue the deal and that Amazon was going to pick it up.
Please don't do that, Amazon. I like you.
I mean, I do think there may be other studios that give him money, maybe not as much, and maybe don't give him as much free reign. But I could see them being like, hey, we are really into The Boys and Invincible and this like hyper-violent superhero stuff, and you do that well in their eyes, right? Like, he certainly has a vocal following of people who liked what he was doing with DC.
Yeah.
I could see them giving him something if Netflix passes, right? Like, that's where that prediction came from. In any case, this movie's a dumpster fire for me. Don't watch it.
It's a dumpster fire. Is it worse than the first one? I don't know. I don't really remember the first one too much. I'd say it's equally as bad.
Which one's shorter?
I think the second one.
This one does at least. If you are easily entertained by action, this one has more action.
Yeah.
And the story in both is pretty nonsensical, or non-existent.
Yeah, the second one's shorter by like 9 minutes.
Great. Watch the second. If you're gonna watch one of them, watch the second one.
Wait, what's the third one called?
The Scar Taker of Fire.
There's an untitled Rebel Moon prequel TV series.
There's
That's
also
not getting made.
There's also a game.
Both of those things are definitely
The game is definitely not being
definitely not getting made.
because games take 5 years to make.
Yeah.
Netflix won't even own the rights anymore. Warner's is gonna buy them. They're gonna trade DC for Rebel Moon.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. We've chatted about Rebel Moon for long enough. Luke. Well, we'll save that for.
I can do that at the end.
We can do that at the end.
I don't need to go super long on that.
What do we got? Yeah, because we definitely don't want to. We want to avoid spoilers on some of that. What do we got news story wise, gentlemen? Tyler, you have any news stories? You've been quiet over there.
I don't. I am.
You were
I was
busy.
so busy
You were
all
busy.
week, and
That's
I
all
really
good.
have not
I
been
just wanted
plugged
to give you an
in.
opportunity to speak.
Here, I'll pull up IGN's website or Instagram and see what I see first and roll with that.
I know none of us.
Opinion.
None of us. Well, I probably more than you two, and my wife more than me.
My wife.
Here's a story.
The new Taylor Swift album double album dropped. Very popular. Good for her. There you go. There's a new story.
Yeah, I haven't listened.
I haven't either. Stephanie is enjoying it though.
I was gonna make a huge album joke later. So
my bad.
Kind of bummed by that. So
I gave you an opportunity to speak and you didn't speak.
I tried to. Fallout is renewed for season 2.
Let's go.
I have not gotten a chance to watch it. Obviously, I was out of town, but
Probably
very
one of
excited.
Amazon's easiest green lights.
That's
that they've
awesome.
done.
Do you think they'll do like weekly releases next year?
They
or next time?
freaking better. Because,
I don't think they were expecting it to hit like it did with audiences.
which doesn't make sense. It's an IP. It should automatically be thrown into weekly release category.
Yeah.
Or like at least like release the first 3.
Yeah, and then if it's not being
And then
viewed
if people
well,
are like-
just blow it all out and put it out.
Like, hey, wow, this is awesome. You're like, okay, we'll do 3 and then we'll do
release.
2.
Yeah,
Gotta speed this up.
yeah. And then if it's like nobody is watching it, then it's like, okay, I'll just put it all out.
Yeah.
Like, just get it out there. But
Yeah, Fallout, if you haven't heard, is absolutely fantastic.
good team behind
Currently my
it.
favorite show. I know it's still kind of early in the year for show.
Yeah.
Shogun has one more episode left. Could most likely jump to number 1. Depending on final episode, but
Yeah,
never know. It could be garbage.
If it doesn't stick the landing,
I'm not really predicting Shogun to end badly,
Yeah.
because it's been.
I
really
wouldn't
good.
bet against it right
But,
now.
Yeah, I'm curious what Bethesda's gonna do.
Yeah. You think
They have a lot of Fallout hype right now.
fast track some things?
Well, if we want to get into the speculation station, I'm here for this.
Sure.
I love the speculation station.
There's a studio that is also under Xbox who has experience with Fallout.
Obsidian.
You're not wrong there. Excellent point.
So I could see Bethesda being like, hey,
Want to make another one?
it's time to do it. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be Fallout 5. It can just be another Fallout New Vegas type game.
Yeah.
It could be Fallout.
Atlantic City.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
An idea. Like that general concept. Fallout Seattle. I don't know. Atlantic City is the big Fallout 76 DLC. So
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, I mean, it's an idea. Yeah.
Go somewhere, like, super weird. Like,
Do Fallout Florida.
North Dakota.
That would be cool, actually.
The Badlands.
Yeah,
What
that'd
do
be
those
really
look
fun.
like now?
Or Montana.
Yellowstone.
Montana could be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just something.
Just combine it into all of one. Like, just condense the northern region.
Yeah.
And then you cross into the Canadian border.
Kinda
And
like
it's
how
like super nice. And it's like, there's no fallout radiation. Tons of radiation.
No, like Horizon did with like that area to the west. Yeah. No, yeah. So that's really exciting. Dana and I were actually talking about before I came over how we want to watch more. So hopefully this week we can get several
So
more
good.
episodes in. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah.
Sweet. Some weird kind of gaming, I guess, IP. This is more business news. Embracer Group is splitting into 3 separate entities.
What?
This is the dumbest thing.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And
They think we're all friends. They think we like them.
here, I wanted to make sure I got the name right.
I'm so excited. Have you heard this?
Okay.
No.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
They're splitting itself into 3 distinct games and entertainment companies. The Asmodee Group, Coffee, Stain and Friends, and Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends. Why are you naming your companies and friends?
Yeah, I don't understand that decision.
Oh, it's so stupid. Who's running this company? Is this even a real company?
They're Swedes. Who knows?
Tell them to go outside.
They can't, it's all snowy.
Read a newspaper.
I'm just kidding.
They
People
clearly
from
don't have internet.
Sweden, I love you.
Oh my goodness, this is so dumb. I wish I could have been in like the board meeting of the suggestions for this.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you want to split your company into different things so they can focus on different products and IPs, whatever. But like, if this even goes to like Max, changing from HBO to HBO Max to Max. It's like, what are you doing? What is the benefit going through their mind? What are they thinking is going to change from this? To me, it looks like they're stupid.
Yeah. No, yeah.
They'll sell their Middle Earth stuff in the next 3 years anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope. They should have just stuck with Embracer Group. I don't know. Or, look, I don't get...
Not gonna lie, Middle Earth Enterprises doesn't sound that bad to me.
Yeah.
And Friends makes me want to punch somebody in the face.
Not your friends.
No, I like my friends. I'm not gonna punch you.
I appreciate that.
But first person I see out on the street...
Getting it.
Yeah, they're getting it. I'll probably break my hand, though, because I'm a weak little man.
Worth it.
Absolutely
now
worth it.
Now I'm thinking this might be a bad idea. Maybe I should just make him my friend. But then I'd have to talk to him. That sounds more stressful. I don't know what to do. Now I'm panicking.
We were talking about Embracer Group.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, over in the chat. Yep. Embracer Group.
Is it like supposed to be a play on the word embracer? Because friends embrace?
Maybe. I don't
That might
know.
be a home run.
In any case, I don't think there's a lot more news. Luke, do you have anything else?
I've got 2 more things.
Hit
It was.
me.
One of them is bad news. Take-Two laid off
Yeah, that's
about
right.
550 people.
That's right. Yep.
Right
More
after buying
layoffs.
Gearbox.
Yep.
Spend $1
So
billion
it is to be
to buy a
expected.
thing, and then
But man, it just keeps on going.
It never ends.
More and more layoffs in gaming. It's like, what's the point of working here? The other news story I have is Quentin Tarantino is a big old quitter.
Yeah, he bailed on the movie critic.
He's like, I don't want this to be my last movie anymore. Which is fine. I mean, lots of people are saying you can make this. It doesn't have to be your last movie. But I guess he's set in his ways. If he's gonna make one more movie, I want him to make sure it's good. That it will be his last hurrah.
yeah.
Until he comes back in 10 years when he's like, I've missed making movies.
Mm-hmm.
I miss Leonardo DiCaprio and especially miss Samuel L. Jackson. My buddies. My Embracer Group and friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Over in the chat, cause we have watched different amounts of Fallout, so we haven't really given it a full
I
review
reviewed
yet.
it. I reviewed it last week.
Luke talked about it last week, probably in
It's
in
so
decent
good.
depth, but
It
yeah,
is
we're
an
all
incredible show,
really
yeah.
liking it. So
Did we talk about Keanu Reeves being cast as Shadow last week?
I think we just
I feel like it was
mentioned real
maybe
quick.
mentioned it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's official.
I'm thinking he's back.
Thinking he's back, yeah. I think that's... Oh, this is kind of a weird little techie news thing. Delta Gaming Emulators, formerly GBA for iOS. Emulators are now allowed on the App Store, and it is the #1 app immediately. This you can play old Game Boy games on there.
I need to do that.
Yeah,
I might actually
so-
play games now.
Yeah, that's a brand new thing. Basically,
How do you buy the game?
Apple
You
was,
take them off the internet for free.
So
Oh.
do your research. What I will say
Hey,
is do your
send me the
research
good games.
and make sure you know where you're getting things
I did.
from.
Yeah, I did.
So that you're not getting malware.
Yeah. Nope.
That would be the big scare with that. But yeah, it's
It will
very,
feel so
it's
weird without
very
the actual
cool.
buttons, though.
They do have a little like haptic feedback, which is kind of weird.
Oh, I need a case that
that has like the
that
buttons
just
on it.
like covers up right here.
Oh
It
yeah,
has
yeah.
little buttons that I can hit. Hold on, I'm gonna go find a Pokemon. And I'm gonna get you killed. Hey, fight me, nerd.
You can't fight that guy.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Go away.
So yeah,
Go away.
it's kind of cool though that it's in there. I don't know how long it'll last. With games specifically, like Pokemon, things like that. I don't imagine they can bring it down at this point, but
Yeah, so the reason they are happening,
What's the sign say? Trainer tips.
some of the kind of
battle
behind
moves.
the scenes there, is that basically Apple was being forced to allow third-party
apps.
app stores.
Yeah.
So additional app stores and other app stores are doing it, and so they said, well, if they're going to do it, let's try and make sure that they don't feel like they have to go to this other app store.
I don't know what to do.
Apple still wants you to
Fight.
use their app store.
I've never played Pokemon. I don't know what to do.
So
Hit A.
it's definitely selfish business reasons why they're allowing it now, but it's definitely here to stay. I don't know if there's any
Low kick.
legal gray area that they may have to deal with, but have you guys heard about the Pocket Analog? Yes. I have, my brother-in-law has one of the little Pocket Analog.
What is it?
It's like an emulator thing that lets you play a bunch of old.
Oh, but it's like an actual.
It's
kind
like
of
an
Game
actual,
Boy.
like, yeah, it looks like an old Game Boy, basically.
An HD game.
Yeah,
It's pretty dope.
They're very dope.
I don't have any other news stories. I don't know.
Okay, slow news week. That's nothing wrong with that. What'd you guys do this week?
We kind of mentioned it earlier. I went to the whole Orioles Royals series up in Kansas City. Took my kids on Sunday. It was a really good time.
Love it.
It was great just to be up there.
Yeah.
For each game, and I had some good seats, and I really enjoyed myself. It's been really cool. The album joke I was gonna make is I kind of jokingly I text Dana this on Friday. So Friday is when that Taylor Swift album came out. It's also the same day a band I really like called The Ghost Inside released an album, and it was a pretty big shift in their sound. So I had texted Dana, and I was like, really brave of Taylor to put an album out on the day that The Ghost Inside releases this banger of an album. It's really good. Really enjoyed it, and can't wait to listen to more. And then the other thing I've been doing is I did play some Fallout 76 last week.
Nice.
We had kind of talked about it last week on the show. I spent a little more time with it. I do enjoy that game. The pace is really slow, which is an adjustment. But I think the world is cool for Fallout. Like Appalachia is a really cool little region.
Yeah.
It's been really cool too. Like people who've been playing the game this entire time are like leaving stuff for people who need it, and it's just been really cool to watch that community get a little boost. So it was a lot of fun.
That's neat.
Very nice.
That's neat.
I'll go.
Okay.
I was at the theater quite a bit this weekend actually, which was super awesome. This is the first time in a while I did a double movie day like at the theater. Well, I don't know, double. I'll put that in air quotes because one of them was only 40 minutes long. The first thing I went and saw was the Deep Sky IMAX Experience documentary. I didn't even know this was coming out until after our episode last week when we were just sitting around talking.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad I got on the app and saw it. But it is just a 40-minute documentary about the James Webb Space Telescope and its creation, its launch, and then its journey through space and the images it's taking. And oh, it was just some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And like I've seen the pictures before.
Yeah.
Because I mean I follow them on Instagram.
'Cause you're a big old nerd.
I love space. I wish I was smarter so I could
Work in that field.
study space. But all I can do is be interested in it, and you know what? It's enough. But yeah, it was really cool because they talk about through the doc. They're like, well, this is a $10 billion telescope that we're launching into space, and it's ginormous, so we have to fold it up, put it up there.
Was it just the Cosmic Time Machine documentary?
What?
Netflix has a documentary that's very similar to this.
Oh, maybe it was. I don't know. But
Okay.
this was in IMAX.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
If it's not, you should watch that too.
I probably should. But yeah, they talk about, they're like, if one of these like 4 little things goes wrong, there's nothing we can do because this thing is floating out into nothing.
Yeah, they were very nervous about the sail.
Yeah. They're like, it's just space junk if one thing goes wrong. But yeah, everything goes right, and then eventually the images start coming in, and they just go into like that process, and then you just get to like look at the pictures it takes.
Dude, that first image is just
the deep field.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh!
We mentioned at the beginning, I cried several times during this little 40-minute spiel, and the music is so good too. Oh, dude, I was in love. And then obviously like they show the cliffs of the cosmos and the pillars of creation, which are 2 of my favorites. So I was doing all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super cool, and just like to see it on the IMAX screen that big. Just, it was an incredible experience. It's a booyah, I guess. I would encourage anybody that
love it
has any slight interest in seeing really cool pictures, to go check it out.
Sweet.
The other movie I watched, I went and saw The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. A new Guy Ritchie movie, stars Henry Cavill. Also has like Alan Richardson, Isaac Gonzalez. I don't remember his name, but Jameis from Dune.
Oh yeah.
Side note, I don't know if this has ever been brought up. You might have done it, Tyler, but he would be perfect for Martian Manhunter.
Who?
Whoever played Jameis
in
Dune. He's perfect. But so this movie takes place during World War II. Things aren't going well for the Brits. They don't know how to deal with submarines. And so Winston Churchill's like, hey, we're going to invent Black Ops real quick. So M and Ian Fleming create the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Real people. They're in the movie.
That's awesome.
The movie isn't about them. It's about Henry Cavill and their little mission.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to like see finally on screen. Where did the inspiration from Bond come? And it's this. The Black Ops team he helped create. So that's super cool. But then, like, you just go on this cool little action adventure, and you just watch Henry Cavill, Alan Richardson, Henry Golding, and the squad just annihilate Nazis. Like, throughout the movie. It is really violent. It's not gory, though, which was really nice. It's R-rated, but I would say if they take out, like, half the blood, it's easily PG-13, which...
Mm-hmm.
Even with language?
Yeah, there's 2 F words.
Oh, nice.
Like...
So they just cut one back and
it's the one that's in the trailer.
Oh.
Like, I think that was it, unless I just missed them. But there's no sex, so I'm honestly really surprised this thing was even R-rated. But there is blood. Like, Alan Richardson is shooting people with a bow and arrow and knifing people like crazy.
Is he good in it?
Oh, he's fantastic.
Nice.
I keep hearing he's like the standout.
He's
like, you go for Henry Cavill, but you stay for Alan.
He's absolutely the standout. He is hilarious. He's this giant man with little glasses, just destroying all these.
Is it
Nazis
one of his better performances that you've seen?
Yeah, but then like also it's completely different from like Reacher.
Yeah.
Where he's this stoic Sherlock Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's this goofy European. I don't remember where he's from, but like he just has this goofy accent. He's talking about like wanting to rip out everybody's hearts, and if he doesn't get a certain amount, he's gonna be unhappy. The humor in it is pretty dark. Like there's a point, like most of the action is like silenced weapons, and they're just like, they just fall over. And like, there's a moment where I think Henry Cavill shoots somebody, and he like laughs, and he's like, "Wow, he just fell over." It's really funny. I personally am a huge fan of Guy Ritchie, even in the movies that I don't think of his that are very good.
Yeah.
I feel like I still enjoy.
Well,
I like Aladdin.
Sure. I don't feel like, we earlier in this episode we talked about a director who, when we don't like their movies, like we don't like their movies, or like it's a bad movie and we don't like it. I think Guy Ritchie, he has misses for me, but I never walk away like, oh, he's like a bad director, or like that was a bad movie. It's
a
like
perfect example is
that just didn't work for me.
His King Arthur movie.
Yeah.
Not a very good movie, but I'll tell you what. I watched it and I was like, I left and I was like, I think I had fun watching a not very good movie. Mm-hmm. And then you just
at least
don't
you
really
know it'll
think
be
about
well
it after
made.
that, but
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's a difference between like a bad movie and a well-made movie you don't enjoy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, just like Guy Ritchie's, his pace, I think, is always spot on. I think he's really good at determining how quick his movie should move. Like, The Covenant does not move like this movie does. It's not edited like this movie is.
I say he probably has a decent amount of experience. Like, he understands editing.
I wonder if he was an editor before a director.
Yeah, it could be.
But like, there's a very big action sequence in the movie, and the soundtrack is going. The score, I should say, the score. And it's just edited to the music, like on beat, and I was just like, okay, this is cool.
I'm very excited to see it.
Also, the music, I loved it. It's, I'd say, a mix of Morricone's spaghetti western, and jazz.
Okay.
I was a huge fan. Like, there's bits in it where it's just a jazz drum set, like just tapping away, and I'm just like in my seat, just bobbing my head. Oh man, I was a big fan. Jazz, super underrated. Just like Ryan Gosling said in that really sad movie. What else can I talk? I didn't write enough notes down. I really liked all the performances. Alan Richardson is the standout. Also, I think I said this with Three Body Problem as well. But like, shout out Isa Gonzalez, who I will fully admit I was not a fan of her. And I think she might have even said it. She's like, she didn't want to just be a pretty face in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And like, that's kind of what I saw her as.
She's in Three Body?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
She's the girl who makes the nano stuff.
She's one of the main characters.
I did not realize that was her.
But I'd say like over the last several years, I think she's really gotten a lot better. And I thought she was really good in this. Well, I mean, everybody's good in this, but it's just a really fun movie. It's an awesome story. Ever since I heard about Winston Churchill's Secret Soldiers, I've been like, this would be an awesome movie. And then I feel like they got the perfect director to do it.
Yeah. This is right up his alley.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, there's going to be liberties taken with the story, but man, I had a blast. I give it a fanboy worthy. I think if you like World War II movies, if you like action movies, there you go. This one's a good one for you. Ooh.
Nice.
Got gas in my belly.
Yeah, you ate that Wendy's too quickly.
Yeah. I got that cinnamon roll thing.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Oh. Wish it was better.
Me too.
All right.
Did I do anything else?
Did you do anything else?
I've been playing a lot of Destiny.
Yeah.
The new update. It's been a ton of fun. Oh yeah, new Final Shape trailer dropped.
Oh yeah.
That was cool.
It was good.
I can't wait for that game.
Looked good. I've been spreading Democracy in Helldivers too.
I'm hoping to do some of that this week myself.
Yeah, we need to hop on together. That game is definitely...
Jennings needs super samples. We need to get him some super samples.
The matchmaking has gotten a lot better. I don't know what they've been doing under the hood, but I feel Like,
People might be dropping off too.
It's
You're
way
getting
more...
the people who actually enjoy the game, not the griefers.
Well,
Or do you just mean connectivity?
just connectivity.
Oh, okay.
Just connectivity. More reliable matching, I guess, is what I'm suggesting. But in any case, the only other thing I've really been doing, the new season of Game Changer over on Dropout is this, has launched. I think they're like 4 or 5 episodes in right now, and they release weekly. But I binged a bunch of those this weekend, and man, I just think that it's not a service that I subscribe to for more than a couple months at a time, but anytime, especially Game Changer comes back out with a new season, I'm gonna be there for that season of
Nice.
SVOD.
I did forget something.
Oh, what'd you forget?
I forgot to talk about my entire Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler was the only one that went and watched a sports
right.
game. I went to Oklahoma City and watched the opening game for the Thunder's playoffs, and it's pretty cool. Logan pointed out to me the last time the Thunder had a playoff game at home was Russell Westbrook's last home game, and me and Logan went.
Oh, nice.
And then we were at their next playoff game last night, and
That's awesome.
it was super loud. It was crazy.
It was a close game.
It was electric in there, let me tell you. I've never really been around a crowd like that outside of Arrowhead, which is an entirely different sport.
Yeah.
It felt very college, which was super cool.
Dude, Oklahoma City always, to me, like, when it's bumping, it always feels that way.
Yeah.
Because it's such a small arena.
Yeah.
So it just feels like it's just packed. It's loud.
Yeah.
I mean, they call it Loud City.
Oh, yeah.
It truly is loud.
It's not a lie, yeah. And then it's like the thing this year for the Thunder players is they'll bark after their post-game interviews.
Oh, yeah?
And now, like, every single person in the crowd was doing it when the player who normally barks like a dog was doing it, and it was, oh, dude, it was so awesome. And they won Clutch Player of the Year, SGA. Most definitely, if he doesn't win, that's a miss.
He's a finalist for MVP. Did you see that?
He's not winning MVP.
No, he won't, but he is a finalist, which
He
is
should
pretty awesome.
absolutely win Clutch Player of the Year, though. I don't understand how he can't win that. If you're up for MVP and Clutch Player of the Year, it's like when you're up for Best
Foreign
International
language,
Movie and Best Picture.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. But yeah, awesome experience. Go Thunder, Thunder up, let's go. I almost wore my free t-shirt, but it was a little big and it was kind of sweaty, so I didn't.
Gotta get that washed.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's my I was there t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's an XL. It did not fit me very well.
That's all right.
I got a Royals shirt.
Oh, you got a Royal shirt?
Whoa.
When you walked in, they're like, "Here you go." I was like, "Thanks."
Do you want it?
It's an XL, so.
Oh, dang. I'll give it to my dad. Did you have anything else, Brett?
No, I've been hard at work on pre-production for my next short film, so I've been putting a lot of energy into that. So things that people won't see for another year and a half.
Yeah.
I more passion.
Maybe just a year. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Energy.
Maybe we'll be ready for spring festivals next year for this one. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. That wraps it up. Join us again next week.
When I'll have done more things.
We'll have a review. We'll be reviewing something, I'm sure. So
I'm staying home this week.
What comes out this week? Let's look.
Is it Fall Guy or is that next week?
That's
Planet of the Apes?
Or is that 2?
Planet of the Apes
that's
is May
May.
10.
I kind of thought Fall Guy was coming up here.
Bro, there's so many freaking ads in the Regal app now.
It's the worst.
You good, bro?
I'm just letting out a yawn, you know?
Alien 45th. Boy Kills World. Challengers will still be available.
Apparently it's good.
Apparently.
I mean, it's the dude who did Call Me By Your Name.
Yeah.
It's no bum director.
Right. Fair enough.
Dude, I saw the freaking ads for that movie so much. Just like, you know what? I'm not gonna see it just because you're pissing me off.
They just leaned into the one thing a little
I'm
too
also
hard.
just like burnt out on Zendaya for like the past 5 years now, outside of Dune.
Her man will be back soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, and Uncharted 2. Let's go.
And Spider-Man 4.
That's a long ways away.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll be talking about something next week. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Huh?
We're out.
Huh? Huh?